Listening to Coffee with Kenobi, you are, with Dan Z and Corey Club, the podcast you're looking for. This is, yes.
For an entire generation, people have experienced Star Wars the only way it's been possible, on the TV screen. But if you've only seen it this way, you haven't seen it at all.
This is the podcast you're looking for.
We've been waiting for you.
The force is strong here, even stronger than the coffee.
Welcome to Coffee with Kenobi. Here are your hosts, Dan Z and Corey Club.
So here we are live at Indianapolis Comic-Con, Coffee with Kenobi. I'm here, of course, with my good friend and co-host, Corey Club. Hello, Corey.
How's it going?
It's going well. This is pretty wild, sort of a precursor to Celebration, and we have a reviewer here and a friend of ours was on Rebels Reactions with us, Tom Gross. Hey, Tom.
Hey, how's it going? This is exciting.
Yeah, so far we've seen some interesting things. We've seen some 501st, a lot of great cosplay. We're going to go meet Roxy the Rancor, and we just talked with Mark Waid, hoping to grab a few minutes with him here in a little bit. So, till next time.
Hi, this is Mark Waid, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z and Corey Club. This is the podcast you're looking for.
So, as luck would have it, we're walking around the convention floor, and we run into Mark Waid, author of Princess Leia's comic, and it's an incredible comic. Mark, thanks for being on Coffee with Kenobi.
My pleasure. This is a blast. You guys do a really nice podcast.
Well, thank you very much. Tell us what it was like when you found out that you were going to write Princess Leia.
I was thrilled. I mean, actually, if you had asked me to choose any of the original cast members to pick, I would have chosen Princess Leia. So I was really excited about the possibility because I love how she broke the mold of sort of, simpering princesses who need somebody else to save their butt. I love that.
Great. And then did you get to pick where the storyline took place, or was that kind of a story group thing?
No, actually, I pitched it that way. I really, because the original trilogy didn't have any chance to deal with the repercussions of Alderaan's destruction, I really wanted to delve into that. I thought that was the most interesting thing about her, is what is her role and her mission with the rebellion after she is no longer the princess of her own world.
Right. And the ramifications of losing your entire planet, too.
Exactly, yeah. And the fact that she's not going to just curl up in a heap and cry. That's not her personality. How does she deal with that? I thought that was an interesting... I was very much looking forward to delving into that.
My question would be, what were the ramifications of working for such a huge Star Wars franchise versus Marvel's franchise or DC?
Well, I mean, it's much more... It's much more daunting in the sense that I know the Marvel characters back and forth, and what I know of especially now, what I know of the original trilogy characters, I know from the screen. But the thing is, the LucasArts know so much more about their plans for them that they can't reveal to everybody. So, for instance, with a Daredevil story, I can write a Daredevil story because I've read every Daredevil story, and I know there's not any upcoming plans for Daredevil that I don't know about because I'm the guy writing Daredevil. But if I'm doing Princess Leia, I have to there's times when they have to write and go, that's a really good idea, but we can't tell you why you can't do that yet. Or, that's a really good idea, but it conflicts with something that somebody else is doing in a YA novel, or it conflicts with an upcoming movie or something like that. So it's a little trickier that way, but they've been very good.
I got to get your thoughts on the new Daredevil Netflix series. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's very much Frank Miller. It's very much the original dark, gritty Daredevil. So it's not tonally what we're doing, but I like the casting, and I really am looking forward to seeing what they do.
Very good.
I like the sound of that.
We're here with Blake Buchanan here at Indianapolis Comic-Con, and he is a droid builder with some impressive astromechs in front of us. Blake, tell us how you got involved with the droid builders.
A couple years ago, I thought it'd be cool to build one, and I got online and did some Google searches, and I found astromech.com. We're a worldwide website, and actually J.J. Abrams turned to us to build the new droids for Episode 7. Some guys in the UK are actually making those, but a lot of the parts off these will be the same, off the same runs as that one. And I found a guy in Goshen named Thomas Clark, and I pretty much went over there, checked it out, see if it's something I wanted to do, and I'm about 2 years later into it, and here we are.
Wow. What's the most difficult part putting this together, something like this?
Probably waiting on the runs. There's stuff that rarely comes out. A lot of it's, somebody will make one of the parts like an aluminum, and he'll make maybe 100 of them, so you have to get on the run. But waiting for the runs, that's pretty much why it takes so long. Or you can do the resin route, which instead of aluminum parts, you have resin. When you paint it, you really can't even tell. But
so from top to bottom, from research and planning to actual final product, how long would you say it takes?
Well, the joke in the group kind of is it's never fully done because you're always going through, you're modifying it. The point you want to get to is get it on 3 legs and get it driving. And they say after that it just falls together because once you get the skins on it and everything, you can start taking it to shows. Because, this one, if you look at it really hard, you'll see it's missing a whole bunch of stuff, but nobody notices. And you pretty much just put the pieces in from there. And eventually we have some cameras that we're going to have in it, and that uses tracking software, and it'll actually follow us around.
Wow.
So,
well, they're definitely beautiful looking astromechs. Really, really well done.
My next question is there anybody inside there?
Unfortunately, no.
I think that's probably a good thing.
That's a good thing, yeah.
Ask Kenny. At least looks like it's a little bit warm. Well, thank you so much for being on Coffee with Kenobi.
All right. Thank you.
So we're back at Indiana Comic-Con, and who do we run into but Amy Ratcliffe? Hi, Amy.
Hello. It's a small world after all.
Indeed it is.
I'm sorry I got that stuck in everybody's head, including mine. Why did I do that?
So we were perusing Twitter, and we found out that Amy was going to be at Indiana Comic-Con, which is super, super cool, because we haven't gotten a chance to meet face-to-face. Plenty of podcasts before, but so what brought you to Indiana Comic-Con?
I just kind of tagged along. My fiance was an invited artist for the show, and Christy Blanche, who is an amazing, super talented writer, and she does a lot of education and incorporates comic books into a lot of her teaching, and she's Mark Waid's girlfriend, and she kind of said, you should come and we should do panels together. So we did a lot of panels on gender diversity in Star Wars, gender and diversity in comics, gender and diversity everywhere, basically. So,
and how was the turnout?
Yesterday was not the busiest day at the convention, and all of our panels were weirdly scheduled, like back to back to back. So I don't know, there was a weird decision on their end to have similar panels all in one day. So it was okay. The biggest crowd was probably for Star Wars, so that was nice.
So let me ask you, when you're doing a panel, what kind of prep goes into something like that?
It depends. Christy put most of these together, and our first panel was about getting into comics without being a creator, because I'm a journalist, she's an educator, and the other lady was she did marketing. And we didn't have any preparation, and we just kind of went by the seat of our pants, and it worked out. But the later panels, like the Star Wars one, I had a big outline discussing, what has it been like, where are we now, like how much progress is there. So it kind of depends. Mostly on how busy I am right before the panel. But if it's an interview or something like that, I don't get lazy about. But
you don't have as much wiggle room because you have to be on your game.
No. Indiana Comic-Con is different than we talked about. This is a celebration or like it has a direct reason for being there. So talk a little bit about that, I guess. What's the difference between for you as someone just coming and enjoying the events or panelists like that? So compared to Indiana, is this different than Anaheim or Celebration?
Yeah, I go to a fair amount of conventions, and Celebration isn't like anything I go to. Mostly because it's focused on one thing. Everybody is there for Star Wars, and it brings such a different energy and kind of like unity to the convention, because everybody's there for kind of the same thing. Like somebody might be there for the movie Star Wars, some people might be there for the autographs, some might be, but you're all there because yay, Star Wars. But at Indiana and like other conventions, it's a is hodgepodge. Is that a saying? Is that the right? Okay, it's that because you have people that are here to get autographs from comic creators. You have people that are here to meet celebrities, people that just want to go buy toys. But it's for all different kinds of franchises, and it's, I don't know, I kind of like having a theme, I guess. Just makes it more fun, more like a family, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I also think, too, it's like we talked about, just a variety of folks that are coming here, family-oriented, obviously based, a lot of people are dressed up. I think, too, it's nice to be able to have, like I said, a community of people to come and do this, so very good.
Well, thank you very much, Amy. It was awesome to see you, and we'll have you on the show very soon, as well as see you at Celebration Anaheim.
I can't wait. I'm so happy I got to meet you guys.
No, us too. What a thrill. Well, here we are at Indiana Comic-Con. We've got a little moment to talk with our fellow podcasters about what we've seen at Indiana Comic-Con so far. It's been a really, really cool experience, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Corey Clubb. Hello, Corey.
How's it going?
It's going groovy, my friend. Very well. How are you liking things so far?
Good. It's interesting because it's the atmosphere. As you and I kind of took a break on the side there. We noticed the atmosphere was just a little bit different than we kind of expected. I mean, we talked about on the drive up here as far as going to different cons and things and earlier years, and this has kind of been one we've been to in a long time. And so it's interesting, even for me. I think my last one was back in the 90s. So it's been quite a time.
So not only is Corey here with me, and we've got a lot of interesting things that we've noticed, but Amy Ratcliffe is here from Full of Sith and StarWars.com, an insider, and her fan resume is really impressive. So imagine how excited we were that we got to see her. Hello, Amy.
Hi. I don't know if I can live up to that introduction, but I was so excited to find out you guys would be here yesterday that I did a fangirl flail. You didn't see it in person, but I was like, I get to meet these people. It's so cool. Especially because you and I just talked earlier this week on a podcast. So that was really cool.
I know. So talk about a small world, which, you mentioned earlier. And then not only is Amy from Full of Sith here, but Joao Stinson, longtime friend of the show and just a friend of ours in general. We finally get to meet him face to face before his co-host Mike gets to meet him. So I'm pretty happy about that. Say hello, Joa.
Hello there. Yeah, it's been this has been the best con experience I've ever had. This is probably about the fifth one I've gone to. I think Carrie put a lot of butts in the seats as far as Star Wars fans go, and that's been a lot of the stuff. I mean, yeah, I like the Marvel stuff. I like the Batman, and I know he's DC and all that, but but some of the stuff people dress in, I just have no idea. It's out of my league. I mean, and I consider myself a nerd and a geek, but I mean, those people put me to shame as far as all that stuff because I don't even know what they're dressing as or anything. So you see, like I was here for Gen Con and I saw a couple people doing Star Wars stuff, but besides that, it was, it wasn't a great experience. And I've been to a few others, PAX East, and this has by far been the total best experience. Just some unexpected things. There was actually comic books here. I haven't, they call them comic cons, but I don't usually see comic books being sold at them, or maybe I just never went to the right place. So, yeah, I mean, that was kind of cool to actually see that. And then the artists, like these comic artists that you can just walk up to, and they had the Darth Vader sketch, and I already had the blank variant that I was planning on getting something done at some point. And then he's like, oh yeah, it's $35. So I got something done, and it turned out amazing. I'd almost, after seeing Carrie Fisher and then seeing that, it almost made me cry. So, it's been I'm tired right now, but it's been a great day.
So speaking of a great day, you brought somebody along with you that is pretty special in your life. And I think it's time that she is on the podcast. When you say, why don't you introduce her?
Want to do the intro for this? This is my fiance Ashley. We're getting married next weekend, so that'll be sandwiched in between the two actual big events of Anaheim and this. So that's just kind of like that'll be the meat and the sandwich, I guess, right? So,
although, well, hello there.
I must say you're no Ewan McGregor, but I'll take you. So, how have you enjoyed the con? This is your first one, so I know you're not the biggest Star Wars fan. I'm slowly converting you. So What have you thought overall? A lot of geeks or what?
I thought it was really cool. Like, I'm definitely inspired to kind of think about cosplay. It's pretty cool. I like it. I want to dress up like a princess, so.
Oh, Lord. With that inside joke, I'll pass it back to you, Dan.
So we also have someone else here who does not want to dress up like a princess, as far as I know. Maybe he does, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Tom Gross has been here with us. What an intro for Tom, huh? Tom and I worked together at the high school. He's a librarian, research expert, and he's been on Rebels Reactions before, so he was so much fun to have along and showing us the ropes and doing some hunts for some real comics. So, Tom, welcome back to Coffee with Kenobi.
Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, I won't be coming back as a princess, but I will be able to bring a princess next time because I'm sure my 7-year-old daughter, Kaylee, will want to come someday, especially after she sees all the pictures of the cosplayers and she loves that kind of stuff, especially the Elsa and Anna. But I'm sure there will be something different then. Maybe a new Star Wars princess, perhaps, or an old Star Wars princess. I don't know. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I've been to Chicago Comic-Con many, many years ago, and so I kind of knew what to expect. And yeah, I came with an agenda to try to find some First Rebels trading cards, which have not been available. And most of the vendors have kind of been like, yeah, right, like we have those. And I came to fill some holes in my Spider-Man collection. So, but of course, seeing and loving the 501st and their costumes and all the others, it's just an electric atmosphere for sure. Anytime you go to a Comic-Con.
Let's talk about the convention floor. When we first walked on, it's a little bit overwhelming because if this is your first day being here, you're not really quite sure. I guess, like Amy said, you could actually open the map, which seems like really good advice. And once I figured that out, it was much easier. But we're walking along, and we run into Mark Waid. And as everyone just heard him on our podcast a little bit ago, that was pretty cool just to see him out there signing copies of Princess Leia #1.
Yeah, they had all the variants there, which is pretty awesome that you could sit there and pick those up and get those signed just by him right there. And could speak to him a little bit, which is pretty awesome. I've met him before years ago at different con. He's the most gracious guy I think I've ever met as far as just being a comics writer. Really nice to talk to you, and it was a lot of fun.
Very much so. What else did other people see on the convention floor that stood out to them or that was a lot of fun?
I'm raising my hand like you guys can see me. I'm brilliant. But something that, talking about costumes, that reminded me, I saw a little girl dressed as Sabine a little bit ago, and like a homemade costume. Her parents made it, and her dad was telling me, he was like, "Isn't Rebels great?" And we were talking about Rebels. I'm like, "Yeah, how about that season finale?" I won't. Can I mention spoilers at this point? So, yes. Spoiler warning. His little girl was a big fan of Clone Wars. We were talking about that, and he said when she saw Ahsoka come down the ladder, she got so excited and she cried, and I'm like, so did I. But this little girl was just, and that kind of just melted my heart into a puddle. So it's just cool to see. They whatever costume licensee, they make Sabine costumes, but it was just cool to see a handmade one and a little girl that was excited about Ahsoka. Oh, that kind of was great today.
It means a lot. You feel like that's what we're hoping, that the younger generations will just glom on to that and continue to grow the Star Wars franchise, because only through the children can that happen. And speaking of things that are made, can you tell us about your ring that you have on? Because that's all kinds of cool.
Oh, yeah. I'm wearing a Millennium Falcon ring, and it's literally just the Micro Machine toy, the plastic one, and a cheap ring base you can buy at any craft store. And I glued it on with some E6000 epoxy, and it's a quarter the size of my hand or something, but it's my favorite thing.
It's super cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's all kinds of cool. What about all of you? What did you see on the convention floor? It was fun. We didn't mention Roxy really that much, but Roxy was there to get your picture with Roxy the Rancor, and the handlers of Roxy were all kinds of nice too. And they were accepting donations, but you could get your picture for free, and that was a really neat experience, I thought, as well.
Yeah, we saw a couple astromechs on the floor with controllers. Full-size ones. I saw the guy with the remote control. I think we got a picture of R2. I think there was a it was a red one, so I don't know if it was R4 maybe. I don't know who he was supposed to be, but I always had a problem when they made that toy because I always thought that he was only supposed to be in Obi-Wan's ship. He was just like the dome head in Obi-Wan's ship. I didn't know he had a whole body, but okay, all right, gotcha. So it wasn't Obi-Wan's droid then. So okay, but yeah, I saw 2 full-size awesome droids, and I wanted to steal them and leave the con early with them and hijack them and leave. But I was so glad to see just more cosplayers doing Star Wars than I saw at Gen Con. So like I say, I think Carrie definitely brought the Star Wars people out and kind of made this, more of a Star Wars convention for the people who wanted it to be, I guess I should say. Ashley, did you see anybody particularly cool on the floor?
Not besides Carrie. I'm never washing my hand.
Oh, I thought you were going to say nobody except me, but all right.
Yeah, Tom, what about you? There's any little other things you notice? I mean, there's Star Wars presence here, but there's a lot of other things going on too.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, outside of the Star Wars universe, I'm a huge Marvel fan as well, and so it was a lot of fun to see all the cosplayers with a lot of Deadpools. That I walked into a whole group of them, and
I told Corey, was that supposed to be the Night of the Living Deadpool comic that's out now? Because I saw the cover and it's a bunch. So I was like, it must have just been a coincidence, but seeing them all there gathered, I just thought of the cover of the comic. But.
Yeah, and keeping my daughters in mind, I went to see the panel discussion with, now I'm going to figure out her last name, Livy Stubenrock or something like that. But anyway, thank you. She's the voice actor for Anna in the movie Frozen, and that was really neat. And what was really cool about that is later on, I was standing and actually waiting for you guys to finish seeing Carrie Fisher. And she came walking by me with her mom, Livy did, and I said hi to her, and she walked past, going to her signing table, but she was followed up by a couple dozen little girls and their moms, which at a Comic-Con was, when if I recall correctly, years ago when I was at Chicago Comic-Con, you didn't see little kids there. It was mostly an adult type of an event, and I think having Livy here was really unique, and it brought a unique, different kind of crowd too.
That's what I'm noticing more and more is that this inspires people from all different walks of life and different stations. And you have families, you've got married couples, you've got engaged couples, you've got just people that are hanging out. It doesn't really matter. It's a very welcoming atmosphere, and we know that Star Wars fans are like that. But it's cool to see that there are people here that may or may not be Star Wars fans, but they just are enjoying and engaging in their passion and bringing everybody into the fold, which I think is a very, very important thing for fandom. So you mentioned Carrie Fisher. I mean, how could you not talk about Carrie Fisher? That's the main reason that Corey and I, when I first heard about this, I thought, well, Carrie Fisher's there. We got to go. We got to try to meet her. And meet her we did. Let's talk about that a little bit.
That's right. We got our tickets to go see her and stood in line for about an hour maybe. Uh-huh. Wasn't too bad. Talked to people in line. Actually saw somebody. It was pretty cool to. They're on their iPhone looking up our podcast. We're like, whoa, that was ironic. Totally. I mean, so we could talk to them a little bit, and that was really unique. Really cool to be able to talk to fans right on the spot there. But getting in line with Carrie was cool because I think we talked about the diversity here in this con, but I think you got in that line, everybody knew we were going to go see. Everybody knew what Star Wars was. We had an 8-foot Darth Vader in line with us. He looked awesome. He was huge. He looked awesome. But it's just you could tell the electricity, and she's definitely here. She's definitely put a lot of people here. I think she's a big draw for folks. And he said we got closer and closer to the entrance there, and we we're kind of pinching each other, saying
not literally,
no, but we could figuratively slapping each other, yes. This is the lady who started it all. Really, honestly, she was the first one we see sending a distress signal and has carried it through the saga so greatly here. And we get to meet her and in person. And you always hear these things of, I saw so and so from afar, or I happen to see this person or that person, and I didn't get to meet him, but with the contact with her and shake her hand and just talk to her just for a brief moment, but. greatly appreciated and a lot of fun, and no glitter, gratefully. So.
Yeah, and actually, we talked about that on the Cantina Cast, so make sure that you download that and listen to what we talked about with Joa. But when we were walking in the line, there were all these people covered in glitter, which is really odd. And I'm like very anti-glitter anyway, because it just, it never comes off your hands. Does it ever come off your hands? Yeah, it's like sand. It gets everywhere. It's coarse. And yeah, everyone knows the line, Dan. Okay. So we're going through the line. We see people covered in glitter. And someone has said, I heard someone say, oh, that's probably Star-Lord when he gets the Infinity Stone. And I thought, okay, I could see that. A bit of a stretch, but that works. It's creative. Come to find out that when Carrie Fisher is signing autographs, she's throwing glitter on people. And we actually saw her with makeup, like drawing on bald people's heads and doing all kinds of funny little things. And, it's Princess Leia, and it's fun. It's very unique. I can't imagine Harrison Ford doing that. You never know. I highly doubt that would happen. So we went the photo route, and you go through this little thing, and there's all these there's like a list of about 12 things that you can and can't do. You can't give her gifts. We did have a Coffee with Kenobi exclusive trading card that we wanted to give her, but they said no gifts. Okay. They also said you had to take off your glasses because there was a glare. And just pretty much like in assembly line, you get up there, you give them your bags because they don't want to deal with your bags, and they move it around this little. Yeah, it was very efficient. And there's like these little spots to stand on. She's sitting there with her dog in one chair, and she's on the other, and she says hi, and you walk over, and I kind of phone around where to stand. I'm like, oh my gosh. I tripped over myself a little bit. And so Corey was on her right, and I was on her left, and she kind of put her hand on my cheek and leaned in, and then she held Corey's hand. And
that was Dan, by the way.
That was me. And then it's over, bada bing, and I said, all right, thanks, see you in California. And she said, okay, bye. It was surreal. And then it was fun, like when you're in the line, I'm sure you can agree to this, when you see people coming out of the little curtain, everybody had this huge smile on their faces, and they're like clapping and just so excited, and it just kind of gets you amped up because, again, these are real people. I mean, they have real problems, real things going on, but for just a moment, they just make a little bit more magic for you, and I think that means a lot. What about you? What was your experience like with Carrie Fisher? What a cool sentence to be able to say.
We waited probably about the same. Once they get the line moving, I don't know what the delay was, but once they get it moving, it goes. But you just kind of stand still. But besides that, once you get going, the anticipation starts building, and you're like, holy crap, I'm about to see somebody that was in a Star Wars movie. And not only that, I'm going to see Princess Leia. I'm about to meet Carrie. I'm about to meet the most famous person I've ever met. And it just, there's a range of emotions. 1 second I just wanted to spaz out. The next second I wanted to cry. And I'm just thinking about what's it going to be like after I meet her? What am I going to feel like? Cause I think about weird stuff like that. And, I believe I saw a different Darth Vader, and he had his helmet off, and I'm guessing it was his wife was polishing him down to make sure he looked good for Carrie. And I was polishing his armor and up top and everything. And I'm sure he was with the 501st, but I didn't catch his name. And but when he came out, I saw him come out, and he didn't have his helmet on because obviously he wanted his face in the picture, but he had the rest of the suit on, and he's waving to cool himself off from just meeting Carrie Fisher. So, I don't know if the real Darth Vader did that, after he met Princess Leia and took her and abducted her. So I doubt it, but, it was just, I did. When I got out, I was a little, my legs were a little bit jelly. Yeah, I was woozy and just walking, and I'm going to fall over and hit somebody, and I'm as big as I am. I'm going to kill them. And then we went over and got my comic, which was just about finished, and I got a glimpse at it. And at that point, I covered my hand. I just felt like a screaming little girl or something, and I just wanted to cry and scream. And I didn't know. It was very exciting, and that's and it was just all of this. And then right after that, I finally got to talk to y'all. So it was like a whirlwind. It's almost like the Star Wars news recently. It was like boom, boom. It kind of the day started off a little slow, and then it was boom, boom, boom. All three things that I really wanted to get done, and one unexpected thing. So I know we said you're not the biggest Star Wars fan. It's still growing on you. So you already said it was the coolest person on the floor. So
yeah, I was kind of nervous when we were in line, just, nervous that I was going to trip and fall or something in front of her. But then as soon as you got around the corner, she just reaches her arms out for you. Like she's just happy to see you. So I thought it was pretty neat that she was so inviting and.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was hilarious that the dog was there. Like, I was like, this is, I was like, I guess even in Princess Leia, there's a little diva. That's the perk. She's like, I'm not doing any autographs unless my dog's there. So I'm sure she wrote that into the contract somewhere.
It was fun. And I'm glad you mentioned the end because I mentioned before, but it's just a thrill to be able to be here with everybody and friends. Some friends we've known. Some, like Corey and I, obviously we're great friends. And we live 5 minutes apart, but we never get to see each other. So we get to hang out all day, and that's fun. We're going to get to that in Anaheim. Amy, I didn't think I'd get a chance to meet you. So that was a really, really cool thrill. And then meeting Joe is amazing, too, and having Tom along. I mean, this is like what Star Wars is all about for me, why I got into podcasting and why I love fandom, because you get to meet friends that you ordinarily would not have ever met before. So I think that's a really, really cool, amazing thing that conventions in Star Wars do. It brings people together, and that's wonderful. So we better run so we can go see Carrie Fisher's panel. But anybody want to say anything else before we go? How about a little, this is the podcast you're looking for?
This is the podcast you're looking for.
Hi, Indiana Comic Con.
Hi.
How are you?
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Go on.
Carrie is trying to get her dog to sit on the chair.
He charges so much for autographs, you can't even believe it. That's why we were a little late. There was a line back there.
The dog just licked Carrie on the face.
French kiss, where do you think the saying came from? Okay, well, first of all, thank you for visiting Indiana. We are honored to have you having me. There's so many good-looking eyes. You guys have light eyes, not brown eyes. You haven't been sullied by the brown eye thing. So I congratulate you all on your eye color. Amazing. But we have a few questions for you. So, yes to the first one. Okay. Maybe, maybe not on the second one. No. So, well, yes, that was my first question was, can we be best friends? So, she said yes. My drive, whatever that's called on your car. GPS? No, that thing on the back that people's license plate. She lose words when you get over. I lost roof the other day. That's really scary. Not bad if you lose gondola. That's not an alarming one, but roof. And license plate, that's bad. That's really bad too. My license plate is BFF. Okay. Isn't that adorable? Yeah, they give you your license plate per your personality. Go meet with them, talk, and then they base their, That's not true. Okay. I'm wondering why I'm here. You're a one-woman show. Well, that's true, too. That is true. We were going to sell tickets to have people come and watch movies with me tonight in my bedroom. Expensive though, you know what you're getting into. Because you don't know what you're getting into. Okay. So all you do in the entertainment arena, you act, you write books, you write scripts, you're a script doctor. Which have you enjoyed the most? Script doctor wasn't one. anything to do with physicians, it's better in a way to be a patient. Better read the script. I don't know. That was good money, though. It was silly, funny money. And then now they have it down. They make you audition for it now, so they give you the script they want you to fix. And they basically say, what would you do with this script? Like, so you give them what you would do, and then they say, no, we don't want that. And then they use it. Now, thank you, though, for trying out. So, no, my favorite thing to do is performance. I like doing wishful drinking. I like writing and performing. But I like, doing special effects things. I like being a hologram. That was fun. No, it was awful to be a hologram, but it looked good.
So, kind of tying your writing in, how cool was it seeing Postcards from the Edge on the big screen?
It was cool because it wasn't me. I don't like looking at myself. If you don't like looking at yourself in the mirror, ladies, imagine looking at yourself in a really big mirror that had magnifying in it and wanted to show you if you had blackheads and wrinkles. So it's really upsetting. It's like a double-edged thing to go into show business. I didn't have to think about that when I went in the 1800s when filmmaking was still in its silent era. But they do all this HD, VD, LSD. And so you can see way too much. I like artifice. This is Gary. Okay.
He says hello. You did a television special with Ringo Starr.
Yes.
So, what was it like to work with a Beatle?
It was like 40 years ago. So, here's the thing, the other thing is you can't say anything you want and things because you used to be able to, and now it shows up everywhere. So I'm, not relaxed. But I was writing the Oscars one year when Paul was my neighbor, so there I had the other Beatle situation. And John's son stays at my house when he's a young lady. So that's that. I have an anecdote about George Harrison, but I can't tell him.
Come to movie night, she'll tell you that. So, one of my favorite movies is The Burbs. And it looked like it was a fun movie.
It was really fun to shoot that movie. It was crazy fun. It was like it was illegal, like we should have paid them. And otherwise, acting is really like a job and everything. You have to get up way too earlier than school, and stay later than school. And the food isn't as good. That's how I remember school. But anyway, I really had fun doing that movie. Tom Hanks was fun. We improvised a lot, and that's the best acting I can do. Is you take the sense of what they want you to say, and then you make it your own.
And I think that shows because it was so much fun. And another movie that people might know you from is the Blues Brothers. People seem to like you.
Thank you. I feel so badly. I had an inner ear infection yesterday. Where were you guys? That was scary. That's true, though. Literally, I went from inner ear infection, brain tumor. And I know you'd never do that because you're sane. She'd do it. See you later at the thing. I remember the question, did you have to do with Ringo Starr or improvising? Blues Brothers, and something to do with gondolas, right?
Yes.
Blues Brothers, I was engaged to be married to Dan Aykroyd. And because we were dating. Here's how we dated. Want to hear about our blind date? John Belushi set us up on a blind date. Here is a blind date, John Belushi style. A, we were both dating other people to begin with. That was good. B, he invited Danny and I both over, and then he passed out. That's the date. So you basically date over his unconscious body. And very, very erotic to, date around a sleeping fat man. Doesn't sound like it would be, but it is. And when we were shooting, John had never had an on-screen kiss before, so he put mascara on. Because you want to wear mascara for open mouth kissing boys and girls. Listen to me now. This is really the truth. And he was skipping around the set singing "My Best Friend's Girl." And he brushed his teeth and used, which was a nice favor to do, mouthwash. Yeah, I lost that word, but I don't mind losing that. That's a gondola type word.
Okay, so most people know you from Star Wars. So, back to a little bit of you working on the second trilogy. Did having such a prominent role in the original trilogy give you special insight into being a script doctor for the second trilogy?
Wait, what's the second trilogy? I don't know if things count. You mean a sequel? The first three movies are the first trilogies. And now it's going to be chapter 7?
No,
chapter
1.
Nothing. There's so many different things to screw with us. It was something to do late at night when our, iPhones aren't working. I forget what you asked me. Oh, script doctor. You want to do that with this. You cannot. You're writing dialogue from another galaxy, so I don't have special insight into that, though you would think I would, but I don't. But they'll give you dialogue where you say, what the fast golf antique. You're saying things like that. Oh, they had written me a line in this that isn't going to be in it, but it was like, tell Fazdoff that he's been gambling a little too much with the Clyde. They'll give you lines like that. I don't even know how to say, who's Klasdorf? So they will give you lines like that. I never asked who Nerf herder or what a Nerf herder was. You just accept these things. And that's not a good thing for a script doctor. It takes away an opinion.
What would you think a Nerf herder is?
Not a good thing. Something that John Belushi would have on a blind date.
So, when you were growing up, would you have wanted to be Princess Leia?
Did they ask you? They didn't ask me, by the way. And but they don't ask you with all the information in it. Yes, I would have wanted to. But then I'm bipolar. So that's not a valid answer. Anything I say, think about that, okay? And he's explaining what bipolar is to this boy. It is a kind of virus of the brain that makes you go very fast or furious, or both. Those are fun days. And so judgment isn't like one of my big good things, but I have a good voice. I can write well. I'm not a good bicycle rider. Bad. So just like anybody else, only louder and faster and sleeps more. That's good. That's really good explanation for bipolar. You know what you feel about depression. Oh, how I love you. Okay. So, did I answer the question you asked me? because I want to be Star Wars. I was Star Wars as a child. And then the rest of it burned off, and I wound up being Princess Leia. But initially, I was Star Wars. That's everybody, really, right? You're born Star Wars, and then you blend off into the character that you be. Okay, I think I described everyone's childhood. That is what's so great about this movie, though. You are part of part of everyone's childhood. Yes. I don't necessarily love being part of all your adolescence, so that's not my favorite. That's not gross. But I like being here with the children out there at Christmas time. I like being a t-shirt and a shampoo and a bar of soap. Those are my favorite. Bipolar is something.
So, why do you think the character of Princess Leia is such an icon?
Because she's a badass. And what all of you really know is the princess is going to go, oh, please, will you go get my shoe over there? I think I broke it. No, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't wear those shoes to begin with. Okay, now that you don't say. Only people who are bipolar say that. It's a special thing that you get, a gondola. You get a gondola, and you take it to the roof. I'll tell you later. Because now I forgot where we are. Where are we?
Indiana. It was Princess Leia.
Princess Leia. Somehow we always go back to that. No, she is, and now I get to go to those Disney princess meetings. So we get to wake up Sleeping Beauty. She's really pretty when she's asleep. When you wake that up. Wow, she's got, she can relax when she's sleeping. And the mermaid, they don't tell you about that. That girl has really, you know what happens when you're waterlogged, gets all tingly, and that's not a good look if someone's in a bathing suit. You don't want to see their skin all weird. So it's things like that we talk about at the meetings. And I think I've helped them, get to their real powerful self. Yeah.
Have you done any artillery training?
With the other, yeah. I'm actually a very good shot, so I'm teaching them that. And, I think you'll be surprised when you see Cinderella next. Just saying.
Did you ever imagine when you were filming Star Wars, the one they call it in Poe, I still call it Star Wars, that 38 years later you'd be reprising?
Yes. I did imagine it 4 times, and I got in trouble for it. So don't you guys go imagining they're going to be making sequels 40 years later. You'll only get in trouble for it. Now, people will ask me that. Did you ever think when you were making the movie that it was going to be this big of a hit? Now, what am I supposed to say? Okay, so you know what I say now. Yes, I did. I knew, in fact, I thought it was going to be a bigger hit than this. So I am disappointed. I'm bummed out. I thought it was going to do a lot better. And then it wouldn't just, after adolescence, we get married, stuff like that. So I'm bummed out. But thank you anyway. Did you know it was going to be that big of a hit?
Well, I was 8.
You should have known.
I did know. I have seen every Star Wars movie in opening day. I don't do the math.
I have to.
Yes.
No, not necessarily. I can't remember.
And yes, I did know. I explained
it. You knew it was going to be that big of a hit. No, I think kids do know. It's a big deal for kids. It's made for kids. I was 19 when I made it. I wanted to be Han Solo because he had the best dialogue. No, I liked being Princess Leia. I just wanted to talk more badass, which they let me do later on. That's all I'm saying at this point.
Well, on that, did you ask to be, tougher?
Do I have to? At 19, no. I wasn't like that. No, I was cranky. No, I was no, they hired me because I was not. I call it squeezy and tilty. You know, when this is what I mean. So I wasn't squeezy and tilty, which is why I think they hired me. And then you can't fire someone who's not squeezy and tilty, so they were stuck.
So, are you still excited about acting?
Was I ever excited? You have to go first to was I ever excited about acting?
Were you ever excited about acting?
No. And I wasn't excited about it. We'll talk later about all this. I wasn't excited about it because I grew up in a family that had acting in it, like a kind of viral acting. And a lot of the people in my family had it. It looked fun when I was a little kid. I went onto the set when I was a little kid, and my mother looked so pretty. She was all made up. She was in the movie called How the West Was Won. Oh my God. And you are not old enough. You are. My mom, we were standing on screen, and my mom talking, fell into mud. And then they go cut, and everyone screamed with laughter. And I thought, well, I don't know what she is doing, but I want to do that. That's a job? They pay you to fall in the mud? But I didn't want to do that. And anyway, so I never had to want to be an actress. It would have been a neater trick to not be one, which I sort of did really want to be one. You have to think about what you look like all the time. I don't like that. But I would have to anyway. Anybody here not think about what they look like? Get up here. Why not? You guys are really hot to begin with, did you know that? Well, I was insecure. I think if you want your kids to, you have to adore your children, and then they won't question their appearance. My parents, they didn't adore me. So, I didn't think I was cute. Anyway, I don't know what the question was again.
I don't quite remember you.
Oh, it had something to do with, did I want to be an actress? I didn't. I wanted to be a writer. So then I became a writer. My big advice about people that want to be actors, have a second job that you want also. The bad thing about acting is it's a passive profession, and you have to wait for other people to let you do what you want to do. And that is not cool. I know everyone runs at it and thinks it's great, but you wait and you get rejected a bunch of times, and you have to squeeze and tilt your butt off. So if you want that, go for it. Now, but it's hard, so you get rejected. It keeps you in a very childish place. Manic depression.
So, one of my favorite quiz shows is QI, which you were on, and you talked about souffles. Tell us about souffles.
I can cook. Now, would you have thought that? Do I seem like a cooking type human? Yeah. What will you say? You know what's nice about cooking? It's relaxing. Because the books tell you what to do, but without an inflection. Without any judgment, they don't tell you in a way that they don't think you can do it. And you can do it under your own time schedule. And I make good souffles. I wanted to start at the top so I could double back. That's a good way to do it, yeah. I make really good pumpkin souffles. Actually, they're ingredients. Some of the ingredients have ingredients. So it's, like I don't even know the word for the math that's bigger math than math. I don't even know how to do a question there. calendulus. Okay, it's a calendulus of food. Thank you. Who said that? You're a god. Really? No, seriously. Calculus of food. I like baking. I make very good angel food cake. And I make good risotto. I don't know. Come on by later.
Movies and cooking.
No cooking. There's no cooking at the hotel. And Gary, you get Gary farting. So you really, that's really something great. Uh-oh. Where are you guys going now? I'd like it if this was just an interaction. You know, have it be like on the same level. See, this isn't right. Stop it! Oh, I did another question. Does anyone have a really burning question? Yes. Underpants sounds like those giant things that like hang off your junk. Remember those? Anyone live in the 50s here that's almost in their 70s? No, it's really bad underwear then. At least they cleaned up the underwear because you're very lucky. You live in an underwear good area. Era. No, I do get to wear underwear this time. Lots of it. More underwear than you want to wear. My underwear wears underwear. Yeah, my underwear, well, it's hologram underwear. It's 2D. Or not 2D. All right, I think we're almost done now, so all of you... Oh, there's one more question back there, and then we're out. Go! You're her. You with the hand, looking like you're not the hand. You're the hand. You're the head. How's my something on Harry Met Sally? How's my what on Harry Met Sally?
How was it like to work on it? Yes.
Oh, you know what? Here's one bad thing from that was funny bad. You know that scene in Harry Met Sally where there's 4 of us? There's Meg and Billy Crystal. And then there's me and Bruno. They did that in one room with all of us in our little sets, and they shot it in real time. We shot it 47 times. And at the end of that, Bruno, who's my husband in the movie, I can't even get good husbands in movies, he says, I think I want to do it again. I said, you'll be doing that alone then. So we split off screen. All right, that's it, you guys. I want to marry each and every one of you.
If you would like to respond to our question of the show, have a comment, or just want to say hello, send us an email or MP3 at feedback@coffeewithkenobi.com. Or if you have a specific question or comment for either of us individually, email us at danz@coffeewithkenobi.com or coryc@coffeewithkenobi.com, or visit us at coffeewithkenobi.com and click on the Contact Us section, or comment on one of the stories featured on the site. If you enjoy the show, please write a review in iTunes or Stitcher. You can also like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/coffeewithkenobi, as well as keep up to date at our Twitter feed at Coffee with Kenobi. You can also find us on Tumblr at coffeewithkenobi.tumblr.com. If you enjoy the jazz music, the album is Eye to Eye by Steve Torok.
Give the evacuation code signal. This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.
There's no one here. Move along. Move along.